everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the 5 o'clock Sweats. I am one of your co-hosts, Derick.
And I'm Ryan.
And I'm Chris.
And today, like another day we have nothing specific planned, so we are treating this as a catch-up episode. Nice little catch-up episode. See what the guys have been into since the last time we had one of these. I know what I'm going to talk about. Does anybody volunteer to go first, or am I just going to raw dog it?
I think Ryan was the one. He raised his hand from what I can see.
Oh, yeah, it was my left hand that's off screen, so you can't see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, what you got to talk about today?
So I've got a thing to talk about, and it's regarding a certain game that has not been controversial in the slightest. There's been no discord around it, or sorry, discourse, not the app. No discourse around this game whatsoever. No one's talking about it online. It's crazy, and that is Starfield.
I heard of that. It's like a indie game developer, right? Beth?
Yeah, small little developer, but Bethesda.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out how to say it, and I'm shocked you've heard about it. You probably did do some digging for that.
So, was it called Starfield?
Yeah, Starfield.
And let me guess. He hates Mondays and loves lasagna.
No. I think this is the one with the lightsabers, right?
No, it's the guy.
How about you tell us what this is? So I'm sure we could just bag on it.
All kidding aside, Starfield has been probably the most talked about game on social media and the internet for the last couple weeks since it launched, and I have been indulging in it very hard. I think at this point, as of this recording, I've put in roughly 30-ish hours into it. And I know that the game is getting it's been a very polarizing game, to say the least. People are hating it, people are loving it, people are like, it's kind of in the middle, but it's usually one or the other. So I just want to talk about my experience with it, because I try to block out I do my best to try to block out other people's opinions so they don't try to affect my opinion of the game. And
yeah.
And I gotta be honest, I'm having a good time. I know.
Knocking out the haters.
Shocking. I am really enjoying my time playing Starfield. Maybe not every minute of the 30-ish hours I put into it, but overall, it's been fun. And this is coming from some... go ahead.
Give me your history on Bethesda games.
Yeah,
Which ones have you played? Which ones have you wish you played?
It's a very short history. I've played Fallout 3 for a few hours. And that is about it.
Good history.
I've watched people play Skyrim. I've obviously know about Skyrim. I know about Oblivion. And all the Fallouts I've heard about. And I played Fallout 3, and I think mainly, I think I was probably just a little too young back then. I don't think my FPS brain, my arena shooter brain, was ready for something that to that scale and that depth.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't blame you for that.
And the thing I'm seeing online is people are complaining. One of the complaints about Starfield is that, it's a Bethesda game. It's just a Bethesda game. Luckily for me, I don't really know what that means. I kind of do. I have a sense of it, but yeah, I'm kind of going into this fresh, and I like I said, I'm really enjoying my time. I think when people say it's a Bethesda game, what they mean, I think, is that maybe the main story is not the main appeal of the game. It's the side quests and the side characters. I'd
agree with that. Now,
okay.
I know nothing about Starfield, again, but I would think that the feel of the movement is very particular. The feeling of jumping repeatedly is very particular. I think the way the NPCs behave when you're not actually interacting with them is very particular. I think the inventory system and, selling to shops is very particular, sneaking, very particular, like all that. I feel like that is the gist of what people mean when they say it's a Bethesda game.
That too, yeah. But no, those things are also like not unique to just our Bethesda RPGs. Like those are things that are present in a lot of RPGs. But it's funny. I do think that especially like the inventory management, it's been like probably one of my biggest annoyances, I guess, playing the game is that you become encumbered easily. Like you can't carry as much as I would like. You can upgrade your suits and whatnot, and you can carry more things, which is nice. But that's probably been like one of my biggest gameplay complaints. So let me just like dive into like what I've not liked so far. My biggest complaint about the game is that I'm playing on Xbox. That is my biggest complaint, and I can't control that. I mean, I can control it. I could upgrade to a PC, but I'm tempted, but I can't realistically do that right now. But I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was saying like, I like this game a lot, but it just sucks I'm playing on Xbox, and the reason is that it's stuck at 30 FPS. Like it's capped off at 30 FPS. And it's, I would say like for the majority of the game, it doesn't really, I can't really tell. Like it doesn't really affect my gameplay too much. But when it does affect my gameplay is like large combat scenarios, which is a shame because the combat in this game is actually one of the things that I've really enjoyed. Because I did play Fallout 3, and I know that Bethesda's combat has a history of being clunky and it's clunky, slow, just not very smooth and whatnot. But this game, I think it definitely improves the Bethesda combat formula, and I think the main reason for that is just the responsiveness of controls and the variety of weapons you have at your disposal. Like there's a lot of guns. In fact, I have a lot of guns currently, but I know there's like probably hundreds more that I haven't unlocked yet or seen. Enemy types, like they're pretty varied. I still feel like I haven't, like even 30 hours in, I feel like I barely scratched the surface. Like I'm fighting a lot of, humans and robots and the occasional like space animal.
Right. So when you're fighting, what is your fighting style? Is that something you can kind of control? Because I know at least if you go back to like Skyrim and Oblivion, right, you could wield spells, or you could be a sword man, or you could be a stealth archer like everybody else.
Yeah,
like, is that something you can control with this, or?
Yeah, I mean, you can level up certain things about your character. Like if you want to go in with like a melee focused combat style, you can certainly upgrade your melee so it does more damage. And there's a variety of like knives and whatnot you can choose from. My main strategy is to just shoot everything and blow everything up. Not very complicated whatsoever. You could also sneak around and be stealthy if you'd like, but that's not really my style. So I've been trying to like upgrade my like ballistic weapons and like movement and whatnot. My thruster pack, which I really like. The thruster pack, or the boost pack is what they call it. It's good. But yeah, the combat I think I'm liking the combat. I guess the one thing that's kind of clunky, I guess, is just the weapon swapping. Like you have to open up a menu to swap your weapons, and you can have like, I'm on controller, so I'm using the D-pad. You have basically up to 3 weapon slots on each, like up, down, and then left and right on the D-pad. So you got 12 weapons at your disposal, but you also need to like make a room. You need to make room for like heals, and if you want to have grenades and whatnot. So in the middle of fighting, like there's a lot of like going into the menu, but it really doesn't bother me. I've just kind of gotten used to the flow of the combat. So yeah, so well, I said I was going to get into the negatives. My biggest complaint again is that I'm on console and I'm stuck at 30 FPS. But luckily, Bethesda has announced that they are going to release a performance boost for console. I don't know exactly what that entails. I'm praying it can at least get me to 60 frames eventually. That would be awesome. And I know they're going to add an FOV slider, which, I love my FOV sliders.
Yeah, you do.
But this, at least, I will say that the default FOV in this game, I don't know what the number is, but it's at least like 90. It's not terrible. I don't have a headache while I'm playing like Warzone. Pre-FOV slider Warzone. So let me dive into like what I love about this game besides the combat. The variety of missions that I've done so far. And I've barely done the main story. Like, I was doing the main story, and then something happened, and then I got dragged into another side quest or another storyline that I wasn't necessarily wanting to do. I was kind of telling Chris about this yesterday. But I'll just give you a couple of examples of some of the quests I've done. So, the main story, you start off with that a little bit. And the main story is like, you're basically collecting these artifacts, and you're bringing them back to your headquarters, your little like space group that you you become a part of early in the game. But besides that, like one of my side quests, I ran into a guy at a restaurant, and I decided to talk to this guy. I wanted to see. I saw that they actually had a name, and that's when you know you can actually talk to people. Is it's not just like pilot or like soldier or like civilian. It actually has a name. So I talked to him. I was like, "Hey, what's up, restaurant owner?" And he was like, he's basically saying like, "Oh, we don't have we're out of our special sauce. Like corporate won't give us any more of our special sauce." And then he's like, I have a friend on another planet. She said she has some special sauce that she's willing to give me, but I just have no way of getting it. So being the good Samaritan that I am, and you don't know, but I do love special sauce.
What?
I'm a sauce guy. If you look in my pantry, it's all sauce. It's all sauce. It's
all special sauce.
So this
you had to wait until I was taking a drink, huh?
So this specific endeavor really touched my soul. It really got me. So I was like, I got you, man. I'm gonna get that special sauce for you. So I got into my ship, and several loading screens later, but really though, a couple loading screens later, and then some flying, I was able to obtain this special sauce and bring it back to him, and he was very pleased, and I got paid for it.
Oh yeah, Sauce Quest.
Sauce Quest.
Oh my god.
So something like that something kind of petty like that compared to another quest that I did where there's a planet in Starfield that is kind of like the most popular resort vacation planet. It's like very stereotypical, like beaches and like a nice hotel and bars and just like a tropical look to it. And I get there, and then when I arrive, there's like a giant ship in orbit. And then when I land on the planet, the president of the planet, or whatever you want to call him, the leader of the planet, was like, "We're kind of worried about that ship up there. Do you mind checking that out for us and seeing like what is happening with that ship? What's up with that ship?" So I go to that. I fly up to the ship and I dock, and I go on, and they're I open the door, and the entire like main crew is just like, they got guns pointed at me, and I'm like, oh shit, what's happening here? And I just I got to like persuade them like I'm not like, and they're humans, which also like we don't know, like they didn't know if they were human or not. They're just humans, and I had to persuade them like I'm not a threat. I'm here to help. I'm just here to see what's going on. The planet down there is curious, and they basically explained that they're humans from Earth, like their ancestors 200 years ago embarked on a journey from Earth when it became uninhabitable because were fucking it up, obviously.
Yep.
They had to leave. So they have arrived to this planet, which their ancestors had already designated to like be repopulate, like just to populate and then, keep the human race going. Nice. So they arrive and like obviously they see that it's populated and they're like, well, we have a right to this planet. Can you help us convince the people down there that we belong on this planet? And like they want to
basically, you're caught in the middle.
Yeah, I'm the middleman now. I'm in some serious shit. I went from sauce hunting, special sauce hunting, to now I'm like having to be an ambassador for these people. And I'm like, there's lives at stake here. So, and the ironic thing is I haven't completed this mission yet because something else happened. But basically, I went down. I went down to the planet, and it's like the resort owner is like the stereotypical asshole, like all about money and greed. He's like, well, they can live here. We're not going anywhere, but they can live here if they want to be basically indentured servants and work for a living, and we'll provide them room and board. So I've had to go back. I went back to the ship to tell the people like, oh, this is what they're offering, and they're like, okay, that sounds better than nothing.
That they took that way better than I thought they were going to.
Yeah, well, it's not concluded yet because I had to go hunt materials, and while I was hunting materials, I saw something that I really, really wanted, and I stole it, and I didn't think anyone saw because usually when you steal things and someone sees you, there's like a thing on your screen and someone approaches you like, you're under arrest.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. So I was like, okay, I guess
so
I got
away with the sauce.
I got away with it. Yeah. It was a shotgun that looked really cool. I was like, okay, let me take this shotgun. And I go back to like my headquarters, my main base, and when I arrived there, I got stopped by police, like the Galactic Police. And they're like, you got to come with us. I'm like, okay, this is weird. I have no choice in the matter. There was no way out of it.
I don't know why I would have to do that.
So they take me in, and then now, this is the current quest that I'm on. It's been like I've been working on it for like 3-4 days now. I'm basically trying to redeem myself by going undercover for like the Galactic Police and infiltrate a pirate organization, like the top pirate organization in the galaxy. They're called the Crimson Fleet. And I have to infiltrate them, earn their trust, and basically set it up so the Galactic Police can attack them. So that's some pretty heavy shit, and I'm about to come to the conclusion of it. And I didn't like it at first because like I was into helping, those people inhabit that planet, and now I'm stuck doing this. But now I kind of like it. It's been like one of the coolest like RPG quest lines I've ever been on. Like it's sick.
Hell yeah!
So I'm really excited to see the conclusion of that. I will report back on that once I do complete it. But all this is to say that the quests, the side quests, and the adventures you can go on, and the twists and turns, even in just 30-ish hours of playing, it's crazy. And it's fun. And it's variable. And it's not boring. It's got charm, and it's riveting stuff. I've really just enjoyed the storytelling of the side quests so far, and just like the cool shit you can do. And like I said, I've barely scratched the surface. Like there's like so much game left to play. Like I'll probably never complete everything in this game. I'll complete the main story eventually, but the amount of things that are available to you, it's mind-boggling. So I'm just like really enjoying Starfield. I'm blocking out the haters, and I'm saying I'm just having a good time. And I'm not even doing like all the ship building stuff. Like I have a ship that I like, it's upgraded, but I'm not like someone made the Titanic basically. Someone's like, people are making Halo ships, which
seems like a bad idea, right? Making the Titanic.
Yeah. And some people are making Halo ships, like a Pelican or like a frigate.
That's sick.
And I'm like, ooh.
Do you get to name your ship?
I think I don't know actually. I can't name. I don't think the ship. If you build your own ship, I think you can. But if you're just using a ship in the game that they provide, I don't believe you can. But I don't quote me on that because I probably just haven't even looked into that yet.
Damn, I thought you were gonna have some wild name already cooked up.
No, but I didn't get to the best part. So my character, I was inspired because I had just watched the Jason Kelsey documentary. And I'm a huge Eagles fan, obviously. Go Birds.
You didn't.
I recreated Jason Kelsey in the game, and he's my character, and his name is just Jason Kelsey. And he looks like him. I did Google image search. I was tediously editing the facial hair and the hair color, the eye color. I think I got the eye color down to a T. I made, he looks like him physically. I made him kind of fat, but a little muscular. He's tall.
Damn.
And I'll send you guys a screenshot later, but I think it looks just like him, honestly. And it's just
honestly, I can't fault you for that, but it's just so funny.
Can you
that
imagine?
We now just have space Jason Kelsey.
Dude, it's sick. And
stealing
can you imagine
shotguns and secret sauce.
Yeah, can you imagine Jason Kelsey just getting secret sauce? Just go into go into a distant planet and securing secret sauce for a restaurant owner? I could see that. Or infiltrating Jason Kelsey infiltrating a pirate organization.
I feel like that would make playing the game way more enjoyable.
Yeah, I just wish that people referred to me by my name. I think there's a robot companion that does, but it doesn't happen very often. But yeah, Jason Kelsey in space. The Starfield experience.
Space and Kelsey.
Yeah, I was going to say Space and Kelsey.
Space and Kelsey.
That's good.
Damn, I should have. I might have to edit the name. You have to pay 500 credits at a certain planet, and you get to edit. You can edit your entire character, name, looks, gender, whatever. So, yeah, that has been my experience with Starfield. I really enjoy it, and this is really my first time digging my teeth into a Bethesda RPG, and I'm really enjoying it. If it's a Bethesda game, then I should probably play more Bethesda games.
Yeah, that's fair. It does sound like you like it.
I do.
How'd you rate it out of 10?
Well, I can't really give it a fair rating because I'm not even close to being done it yet, but I would say my experience so far, I'd probably give it a solid 8 out of 10, 7.5, 8 out of 10, which I think is pretty good. Just my biggest complaint again is that I'm playing it on console. I'm stuck at 30 frames, and it kind of affects the combat sometimes. So I'm hoping Chris gives it a try.
Yeah, I've got 30 minutes in it, and after hearing all of that, I definitely want to play it. The problem is just it's been time. I rarely have 3 hours to put into a game in one sitting, and I feel like that's the kind of game where it's it's almost frustrating to play an RPG when you only have an hour here or an hour there. You know what I mean? Where it's you have a goal of what you want to accomplish in the game, but you're not able to, and so it starts to kind of I think detract from the story and everything. Is when you have a lot of stop start. So when I have time. Maybe if I get COVID.
Oh, man.
If I get COVID, I'll play. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm going to get to it. I might chip away at it, but from what you're explaining, it sounds great. I'm just a little intimidated by the amount of shit there is to do. It's almost a little overwhelming, the scale, or at least the perceived scale. I don't know what it will actually turn out to be when I play it, but it seems like it's somewhat daunting in that aspect. So I've kind of sort of been what's shying me away a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely huge. It's definitely, like I said, I'm probably not going to finish everything in the game. I find it's actually probably impossible for me to do that.
With that attitude,
yeah, true. But there's other games I want to play.
Listen. What would Space and Kelsey do?
Yeah, that's true. He wouldn't stop until the job's done.
exactly. He would go one more year.
One
He's not,
more
he ain't
year.
retired. He ain't retired.
He would go one more year.
You can make an Eagles player too. You can make like Jalen or someone. I don't know.
Yeah, I think of it. Nah, I'd be like trying to think of like somebody more obscure. I make Jake Elliott,
Yeah, Jake.
and I would just kick everybody.
Landon Dickerson. We'll make the entire offensive line.
There you go. There you go. All right. So it sounds like you've been quite busy, at least in terms of gaming. Anything else that you've been up to?
Well, considering we're almost a half hour into the episode and I've only talked about Starfield, I feel there are other things I want to talk about, but also I feel like maybe we can save that for the end. So let's hear one of you guys talk about what you've been up to. How about Chris? What have you been up to, my friend?
So, other than listening to you go on and on about Starfield, I've been up to not very much gaming. Actually, this is like a weird time of year, and I kind of feel like it comes like every like end of summer into September. Like my mindset, like I'm one of those Call of Duty fanboys, so like I'm already like locked into this next Call of Duty. So it's like I can't even play what's out right now. Like I kind of just put that, to the wayside, and I'm just really excited for November. I'm sure we're going to get a beta sometime soon, so I'll be eager to check that out. So other than that, have not been doing a whole lot of gaming. I have been kind of getting into the, as we approach like the mid mark sort of kind of like of September, I'm diving into the scary movies a little earlier this year than last year because I want to get more in. So today I watched the first Saw movie. I want to try to at least check off a couple of those this go around. I probably won't get to all of them since there's like 50 of them. But I want to at least watch a few more just to kind of get that fix. This is now year 2 where I'm on the fence. Like I want to watch the Terrifier movies, but I also don't. So I don't know. Like I'm not sure where I stand there. Like I'm okay. Like I do pretty well with like the gore movies, but it's like to a certain point, and then like I get like I approach a point where I'm like, this is just dumb. You know what I mean? It's just gore for the sake of gore. So like I don't know. I feel like I might not like them, but also, I don't know. I just heard great things about it, but I think you have to like really like that kind of movie, and I'm a little bit more on like the jump scare kind of horror movies, like slasher movies. Even though this, I guess it is like a slasher, but a little bit more over the top.
Yeah, so let me cut in really quick. So I've seen Terrifier 1. I want to see the second one, but I'm also a little afraid because I have seen the first one.
Yeah.
I think you can get through the first one. I think you
so
can do
I.
it. There is one scene. There's one scene. I'm not even going to talk about it because
I already know.
Bad.
Yeah.
But besides that, it's not really It's not really that bad, like gore wise. Like I don't think anything in the movie besides that scene is any worse than anything you've already seen.
Yeah, and from what I've heard though is that Terrifier 2 like it like ramps up the gore even more. It's not so much the gore itself. It's just like certain things are just like you know what I mean? Like that's just like messed up. Like it's not even like I'm not finding entertainment in that.
It's just gratuitous.
So like that, but like at the same time though, like I've watched a lot of like Eli Roth movies, and like I mean, right there he could be like the king of gore. Like Green Inferno, Hostel, all those. Like, I mean that's some pretty like nasty shit. But like if it fits in the context of the movie, I'm okay with it. But like I just find some movies it's just like not in good taste, And it's like we could have achieved the same thing without showing like everything.
Yeah.
And then some just do the effects are just not good too. You know what I mean? Yeah. Where it's like, okay, like this looks noticeably fake, but it's also kind of like messed up. So it's like,
So I can't confirm this, but I don't know if any CGI was used in Terrifier. Like it's all practical like prosthetics.
I'm sure. I mean, I would think based on like the budget of those movies, it would have to be. But I mean, that's impressive.
But you don't like
know?
clowns.
I mean,
you don't like clowns.
I fucking hate clowns, but
You're gonna hate this guy. He is fucking terrifying looking.
I mean, yeah, I like.
Ooh, fuck.
I love scary movies, so like I want. Derek just looked them up.
Derek's looking at him. The makeup's fantastic.
I really, I want to watch it, and I think I will like it, but it's one of those ones where it's like, can you come back from it? You know, I don't know. Like, is it just too far?
Yeah, I understand.
The second one, I'm wary. I'm probably going to watch it alone and just like see how far I can get through it. I don't. My girlfriend won't watch that, and I don't want to just like thrust that onto anybody and be like, hey, you want to watch this movie with me? You want to watch this this scary movie with me? And it just be the most fucked up shit you've ever seen in your entire life and just scars you forever.
That's what I'm saying is like, it's definitely like that genre has got to be like an acquired taste. And it's like, I still don't know where I stand on that. Even though I've seen some pretty messed up movies, but like there's a lot more out there. But anyway, kind of long story short there, that's one of the things I've been into is wanting to watch at least a few of the Saw movies. Definitely going to run through, the classic Halloween Michael Myers movies like I do every fall. And we'll see if there's I want to see The Nun 2, whether I see that in theaters or, just on like whatever streaming platform it comes to. I might watch... Of the new Halloween movies, I might watch the first one, but I didn't like Halloween Kills, and I absolutely loathe.
Oh my god! Don't even talk.
What is it? Halloween? What is it? Halloween Ends.
Halloween Ends. Yeah.
Bro.
Oh, yeah.
I hope it ends. After that,
yeah, that shit was just ass. That's all I can say.
I didn't hate Kills actually, but the first one is really good. Like it's probably my second favorite besides the OG.
Well, that's what I didn't understand. It's like I legitimately enjoyed the first one, and then like 2 and 3, it progressively got more like, is this the same? Are these the same people that are working on these films? Like they're like completely different directions. It just I don't know. They unfortunately progressively got worse. Kills was at least like there was entertainment value in that. Like it was just like over the top kills, but. End was just like, I don't even know. I really think it was just like a cash grab. They like ran out of total, like every idea they could have had, they just like didn't. And then they just went with like, what is the dumbest thing we could possibly do for a final movie? Let's do that. Yeah.
The biggest sin in that movie is that Michael Myers is a cameo appearance in that movie. Like,
yeah. And then like when he's in it, he's getting his like ass beat by some like teenager. It's just like
such a stupid.
Oh my god!
Track.
And they don't like commit to it. Like I would have respected it more if they had committed to that storyline, but they just cut it short at the end. Like not even like at the end, like towards the middle or getting into the third act of that movie.
You know what it reminded me of? Like when you do like a school project and there's like 4 people in the group. And then you all do like a little piece, and then you're supposed to just like smash it together and like hand something in. Like that's exactly what that movie seems like. It seems like there's like 5 different ideas.
It's messy
from completely separate people. They never talked during the whole production, and then they just at the end they were like smush, and that's what we got is some just weird ass. And unfortunately, it like a lot of those actors did well in like the first movie, and then okay in the second movie, but they just like the way they just wrote the third movie, they all just seemed so generic and shitty in the third movie. And it was like, I don't know. I just feel like you can't go out like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just such an iconic IP, and you just, God, it just left such a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, I've not seen these. I cannot comment.
It's worth watching the first one, which I think is like 2018.
Yeah.
And then if you like that, then like, yeah, you could definitely watch Halloween Kills knowing it's like a bad movie, but it's at least like entertaining in some regards in terms of like the kill factor. But do not watch the third one. It doesn't matter for the story, and it's just an honest to God waste of your time.
but if you don't see the third one, then the ending of the second one is just fucking weird.
Well, yeah, but I feel like there is no story there.
Maybe no, just watch the first one and then
stop.
Just come to your own conclusion that I'm just gonna say it. Michael Myers is dead at the end of the first one. You know, just
because you know what.
Come to that. Just live with that.
Yeah,
that's the best way for it to go.
Yeah.
Instead of making a trilogy, they should have just left it at the first film.
True. Totally.
Just been done. But yeah. So I'm just trying to get into some more of the scary movies a little earlier this year, just so I can try to get a few more in. But I do want to throw in like a few new ones, and like I said, I might test the waters with Terrifier 1. I'm kind of feeling like I want to push the envelope this year because I watch the same ones over and over every year, which is not a bad thing. So there's that, and then obviously we've all been kind of like back and forth with this, but football is in full swing. Well, not full swing, since like a lot of these teams still look like shit.
Yep.
But fantasy wise, as of now, I'm in 3 leagues. I'm 1-0 in 2 leagues, and then 0-1 in 1. Looking like I'm going to be 1-1 in that league, and then probably 1-1 in the other league. So I might just be 1-1 all around after week 2. But it's like been a weird. I don't know how you guys have seen your teams or team perform, but there's guys that like I was positive were like a lock to just be like elite every week, and they're just disappointing. I think you would say like Joe Burrow, but along with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, who I took in the first round in one of my drafts, is doing absolutely nothing, and I don't think it's his fault. I think that offense is just screwy right now. And then, well, listen, the Eagles, Devontae Smith had a great week. Jalen salvaged his week with the 2, rushing touchdowns there from the goal line. But yeah, but if not for those, he has another very pedestrian fantasy week. Obviously, I care about the real life outcome more than fantasy for the Birds, but it's been frustrating for some of my players. In fact, I don't know. At the time of filming this episode, Tyreek is playing.
Yeah. Same.
I don't know what he's doing. I've not looked.
We can take
but
a
yeah,
gander.
just it's so early, in the year, and there's just like a lot of like this happens every year. Certain players just like they just frustrate you, but like you just have to be patient, and they're gonna like Jamar Chase is gonna pan out, right? But it's just week 2, and it's like he's yet to exceed 10 points, I think, and it's just like what the hell.
That's nuts, yeah.
Yeah, and like speaking of the Eagles, like AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert, like they haven't done anything fantasy wise.
Our offense just doesn't seem
it's not
excited
clicking
right now.
It's not clicking, and it's like a different problem each week. But I think the ultimate problem is the shitty play calling.
Yeah, I feel like we'll have an Eagles episode in a couple weeks to kind of just like recap the first quarter of the season, maybe, or the first third, whatever.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, it's they look shaky, to say the least. But they're 2-0. They're 2-0. They're winning.
Meanwhile, like the Niners, my God, they look good. And
Cowboys,
not for
unfortunately.
nothing. Yeah, I was just gonna say Dallas. I always get this way in fantasy where I just like I start to get a little pissed off. Right? Because it's like this is just the bullshit of fantasy where it's like Jamar Chase is an elite receiver. Why am I questioning if he's starting in my lineup? I mean, I'm not.
Yeah.
He's my first round pick. I'm going to start him. But like, what the hell?
Yeah, no, you got to ride him, unfortunately. And he'll get better.
Why is DK Metcalf leaving for a quarter and a half with a rib injury week 2? Like, this is the shit that I can't deal with right now. Not yet.
Yeah. Although your Stephon Diggs bust prediction, he was good in week 1, and this week he was okay. He had, 6 catches, 70-something yards, so not awful, not great.
Yeah, but the Bills just don't look...
They look better today.
Yeah, last week one was real bad. So I will say, I don't know. I'm buying in. I don't think the Bills are going to be the team they were.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I think they're going to regress.
Can we just say really quick, like, how tragic it is for the Jets that they lost Rodgers?
Yes.
Like that game today, if Rodgers is the quarterback, is winnable for sure. I mean, I know the Cowboys defense is really good, but they're just so anemic. Like the Jets are just so anemic on offense with Zach Wilson at quarterback. It's just a damn shame.
So here's my question, right? Like, are they? I think right now there's a lot of kind of PR that's going into the decision making, because you have to be really careful what you do right now if you're the Jets, because if you sign like a free agent, like a Carson Wentz, like God, they're talking about like even like Phillip Rivers, Ryan Fitzpatrick, like if you sign RG3, I don't know, I'm just throwing names out there, right? Like if you sign somebody like that, right, and they slide into the starting role, what, as an organization, what are you saying to Zach Wilson by doing that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And is it just, you kind of just double down and say, okay, obviously this might be a lost season, probably is. So do we just ride out Zach Wilson again? Because they were very much trying to not do that, you know, and then obviously shit hit the fan. So it's like, I'm just curious to see what happens here. And if they do ride out Zach Wilson and they continue to perform the way they are, like, is this his last shot? You know, even though it wasn't going to be, because obviously he was supposed to be learning under Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Listen, if I'm a Jets fan, I cannot accept that this is a lost season. Like, they're 1-1. Season's far from over. If they have an opportunity to get a quarterback, go get a quarterback. Trade, free agent, I don't care. Bribe Tom Brady out of retirement, I don't know. But I mean, there was so much hype this year and like so much promise. Like, this is a Super Bowl or bust season. We have a Hall of Fame quarterback. We went out and we added pieces. We got Dalvin Cook. We got, Alan Lazard. We got guys that Aaron Rodgers is comfortable with, and we have like a top 3 or at least top 5, but probably a top 3 defense in the NFL. And we have a blossoming young receiver in Garrett Wilson who, could possibly be in that top 5 receiver category with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback this year. And it literally 4 plays in, it all goes shit. Like, it's
heartbreaking.
I felt so bad. I turned on the game that night, like in the middle of the first quarter. I was like, "Where's Rodgers?"
I think
what's happening.
You know, the other tough thing about that situation is it's like what makes it worse too is like what injury he had too. It's like, you know what I mean? Like the Achilles is not like a bounce back kind of thing. Like that at his age, right? Like obviously he's going to dispute that, but I think it could absolutely be a career ender, In any other position, it probably is. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, quarterback still needs to be mobile, and I'm not discrediting that. But I think, if he's, if he was a receiver, he wouldn't still be playing. But you know what I mean, right? Like at some of the skill positions. So I think that's what's also kind of so sad about it too, is it was just like, it's one of those gut punch injuries, like an ACL, the Achilles. It's just like, you know what I mean? It's a long rehab. It's a difficult rehab, and you're not guaranteed to get back to 100%,
Yeah, he's already posted on social media that he's going to come back. He quoted The Dark Knight. Yeah,
he's priming himself and the fans, because he's saying all this shit, which this is what I don't like about Aaron Rodgers. He opens it. He loves to speak to the media. he's whatever. But
yeah,
he's basically saying like, oh, I'll be back for the playoffs.
Oh, I saw that because he's got like some experimental like medicine.
God, who knows what he's about to be doing?
I don't want to.
He's about to go into darkness again and just like, holy shit, dude! They're gonna play like the Ocarina of Time.
He's gonna have like a robot leg, cyborg leg.
Dude, I don't like that, but whatever. Do what you want. I just think I just think it's so interesting. Like, is a Carson Wentz better than Zach Wilson? At this point in time, with how long Zach Wilson's been in there, at least knowing the offense, right?
Right.
Is Carson Wentz better? Is Phillip Rivers out of retirement? You know what I mean? Is Ryan Fitzpatrick putting down the mic to come play again? You know,
I don't know about Fitzmagic, man. He looks like he looks like he got a bit of a belly in retirement.
Yeah, I love his I'm just saying though. I'm just saying I don't know what you do here. You know, I guess you give Zach Wilson a little bit more time, but like each week he plays is possibly a wasted week where you could have a veteran quarterback learning the offense.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what their schedule's like, but if I'm the GM, I'm on the phone trying to trade for someone. I don't know who, but even if it's like Gardner Minshew out of Indy, you know, anyone that can give my team a chance to at least make the playoffs. If there is I don't think Rodgers is coming back this year at all, but if there is even like the slightest possibility that he comes back for the playoffs, which I don't think is going to happen, that just is, I don't know, that's weird.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if he's under center, they're probably going to make the playoffs, but now that he's not, like, I don't think they make the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's why they have to go out and get a quarterback. I don't think.
Like, let's just say this, right? So they're not a team that's going to run their way to victory because I have both Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall, and they combined for less than like 5 points today.
That's nuts.
Dalvin Cook got me a negative, I think.
Yeah.
Like -1, and Breece Hall, I think, had 9 yards. I think he had 0.9 points. So, you know, that's not really promising.
Yeah. Well, sorry for leading us down that Jets rabbit hole, but we are in fact Eagles fans, but I do feel bad for Jets fans. I have a couple of Jets fans friends, and they're going through some dark times right now.
Yep.
But
yeah. So that's been what I've been up to, is football and scary movies. So I guess, Derick, what have you been up to recently?
Yeah. So I think I talked about this in probably a couple off the clocks, probably a couple of the catch-up episodes, but 77 days. That is how long it took me to get through 20 of the Studio Ghibli movies, starting with Castle in the Sky in 1986. Actually, Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, even before that. All the way up through 2014 when Marnie is there. Also, Earwig and the Witch. That one was a little bit more recent, but we don't like to talk about that one. But 77 days, 20 movies. I went through it. Or I guess maybe that's 22, counting those other two.
Yeah.
And I am very happy that I went into all of these blind. You know, I obviously was aware of some of these movies beforehand, right? Princess Mononoke, Howl's Moving Castle, Ponyo, Spirited Away. Like, all those are big names that I knew, but I didn't know anything about them going into it.
Mm-hmm.
But there were two very specific ones that I ended up enjoying more than, I guess, the rest of them. Barring My Neighbor Totoro. That one was chef's kiss. But it's Porco Rosso and The Wind Rises. So I just want to talk a little bit about both of those two movies. Now, yes. I think of the two of you, Ryan, you have the best chance at maybe seeing either of these. Have you seen either of these?
No, I have only seen, I've seen Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, and Howl's Moving Castle.
Yep.
And I may have seen
service.
Yeah, I've seen parts of that one, but those are really the only ones I've seen. So enlighten me. I do want to get into some of these.
Yeah. So Porco Rosso, 1929, Adriatic Sea. Picture it. There's an Italian World War I fighter ace and a bounty hunter, and he is called Porco Rosso. That's red pig in Italian, apparently. But why is he called that? Because he's cursed to have a pig's head. So he's just a normal-ass human body, pig's head. Old fighter ace. Okay. So it opens up. He's meeting his old friend Gina at like a neutral ground, air quotes there. hotel that she owns called the Hotel Adriano. She's singing there, I think, when he shows up, and it's just a place for all the ace pilots to hang out. And it's kind of a neutral zone like Casablanca kind of was. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen Casablanca, but very big Casablanca vibes there.
Okay.
One of the pilots immediately falls in love with Gina and proposes to her, and she says no. So then she goes to, I think, eat dinner with her old friend, Porco Rosso. She knew him from before the pig head incident. So there we find out that there was indeed an event that happened that turned his head from not pig to pig. The guy that was shot down by Gina then is in his plane, sees Porco Rosso. He's kind of pissed off at him, shoots him down. Thinks that he killed him, but Porco ends up taking his plane all the way to Milan, where he asks his mechanic Piccolo to fix it. Yeah, I knew you'd get a little chuckle out of his name being Piccolo, but it's essentially like a stand-in for two real like aviation companies called Caproni and Piaggio. But it ends up being a family business run by this guy named Piccolo, and normally, there'd be the men in the family working on the planes, but this is smack dab in the Great Depression, so all the dudes are out finding jobs somewhere. So all of the females in the family end up working on this plane. They do a crazy good job. They're led by a young woman named Fio, and I just have to say she is an absolute delight in this movie, like a bright spot in an already pretty bright movie in my mind. All right. So eventually Fio and Porco leave Milan together. She's kind of like his engineer. They eventually meet that Curtis guy again, the guy that got shot down. This proposition denied, hiding in Porco Rosso's hideout. So he challenges Porco to a final duel, and if Curtis wins, he gets to take Fio away from Porco. And if Porco wins, then Curtis pays a bill for all the plane repairs that Fio's uncle did. After that, I think the day before the final duel, we get a bunch of flashbacks of Porco and Gina's past and how they're friends, or maybe more than friends, or what the deal with that is. I think this whole scene gives the entire movie like an entirely new context. And the final battle is like weird. They're in planes for some of it. They're not in planes for some of it. But that is one of the movies that I rated it here 4.5 stars. So that's what, 9? Okay. I loved that movie.
Awesome. I'm sold. It sounds very anime with like the cursed head aspect. Like I'm curious. I want to look up pictures of this guy, of Porco de Rosa.
Oh, he's very good.
I like bounty hunters. I'm sold.
Yeah, what I said, I have like a little X thread or Twitter thread or Mastodon thread. Porco Rosso was absolutely delightful. It was a lighthearted combination of pirates and ace pilots, with a little Casablanca mixed in for good measure. Once again, the women in the movie are strong, independent, and intelligent. This can definitely be a rewatch whenever movie. Which, for me, I don't typically ever do that, so I think that's pretty high praise. The other movie is The Wind Rises. It's a fictionalized biographical movie of somebody named Jiro Horikoshi. And this is the designer of the Mitsubishi A5M plane and its brother, the A6M0, which was used in World War II by the Empire of Japan. Essentially, it starts out with young Jiro Horikoshi, 1916. He wants to be a pilot, but his eyes, they're too ding-dang bad. He's got glasses that cover his whole face, basically. He's like, I want to be a pilot. And they're like, oh, you can't. So what does he do? He turns to design. So fast forward 7 years later, he's going to Tokyo Imperial University. He's on his way there. What happens? Ding-dang earthquake happens, doesn't it? Yeah. Whole train derailed. Bunch of people, all calamitous. Woman breaks her leg. So he ends up saving that woman, putting her on her back, and that woman is a maid for this young girl that says a quote that actually like he knew from somewhere else. I think a book he read when he was little. He helps him out, doesn't ever tell him his name, and continues learning how to design planes. Another 2 years later, he's working at Mitsubishi. He's got a bunch of career struggles, a bunch of career success. Like he's very clearly talented, but none of the things that Mitsubishi is creating for the army is doing anything good. All it's doing is like falling apart in the air. Essentially what it boils down to is Japan is way behind in engineering compared to like Germany and the rest of the West. So he goes into kind of a slump there, even after getting promoted. But he ends up going to a resort in the mountains where he meets that same girl from the train. Not the one with the broken leg, the one that she was with.
Yeah.
He ends up meeting her, learning more about her. They fall in love. But what happens? She has tuberculosis. It's
Come
fucking
on.
rough. Yeah, I know. So,
TB.
yeah, you know, the rest of the movie happens. I'm not going to spoil the rest of it, but I think it was, you know, inspiring. I think it was heartwarming, and I think it was touching. What I said on Twitter /X/Mastodon. The Wind Rises. A stupid plane movie that made me cry stupid tears before my stupid meeting because of this stupid inspirational story and stupid tuberculosis. Would stupid watch again. These were...
I remember seeing that.
yeah, that's one of my favorite. These were both directed by Hayao Miyazaki. So of all the movies that I watched, I think I definitely prefer the ones that were directed by him.
Mm-hmm.
I think I gravitated so much towards these two because they were just movies about planes, and this dude is absolutely horny for planes. Like, you can tell the passion that comes through. Like,
He's horny.
he could have made anything, but he chose to make these. Like, he just wanted to. So I think that just shows through. Honorable mention is a movie From Up on Poppy Hill. I really like that one. That was more like maritime, so not plane related at all.
Yeah.
That's most of what I've been doing. I know I just kind of went on a cliff notes of Porco Rosso and The Wind Rises, but other than that, Baldur's Gate 3. I've been playing that. I'm like,
oh shit! Really?
43 hours logged or something.
Oh,
like that.
gee, really? Oh, damn!
Yeah,
I had no
I've
idea.
been playing it pretty much since release, but not a ton of time.
How you liking it?
Yeah, we got to hear about it.
Oh,
It's gonna win Game of the Year.
yeah. It has to. There's no way, right? There's no way it doesn't. It's very good. There was no way I wasn't gonna play it, right? It's D&D, the video game, basically. So very close to my heart. Yeah, I almost accidentally skipped most of Act 1 and then almost accidentally skipped all of Act 2. So I'm just going back and making sure that I button up any loose ends there before I plunge into the depths of Shar.
This man is just grinding Baldur's Gate 3 quietly behind the scenes. I had no clue you were even playing that.
No,
I
we were
didn't
talking about this, I think, off
Were we?
recording, maybe the week before release, and I knew you guys weren't going to play it. But I think, Ryan, you sent a message that we could all play together soon, which surprised me.
Assuming it's
really didn't think you wanted to.
cross-play. No, I definitely want to play. I mean, I've only seen hype around it, and yeah, I've never played a game like that before, and I've played D&D. I like D&D. And yeah, it sounds like a fun game to play with your friends. So I'm assuming it's going to be cross-play. Better be cross-play when it comes to console, hopefully soon. And I'm down to play it. Chris, you got to give it a try.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, so I've not actually jumped into it, but it's there's co-op, right? Or is it online? Like,
Yeah, you can join up.
is it an
with people.
MMO?
No, so you can have, I think, up to a party of 4.
Okay, but it's like co-op in like Diablo, like in your instance. Are there other like real players in that instance, or it's just whoever you invite?
Yep, just your group.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah, I know this game's good when I have a random girl I used to work with who doesn't game at all, or at least to my knowledge. And she messages me randomly the other day and is like, "Have you heard of Baldur's Gate 3? I have a PC and I'm on Steam debating whether or not I should buy this. I like D&D. Should I get it?" And I was like, "Well, I've heard only great things about it. Let me know if you end up getting it." And then yesterday she texted me saying she got it, and yeah, I have to follow. I have to follow up and see how she's liking it. But
when's it come to console?
No date yet.
Yeah, PS5 is I think this week as we're recording.
Oh,
yeah.
So
Sorry, no date for console or for
Xbox
Xbox. I'm hoping before the end of the year.
I mean, I'd absolutely be willing to play for sure. I just yeah, I think it's one of those games where like I'd rather just play with people, and then when I can just kind of grind on the side. But it's just story based, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an RPG basically, but D&D is the system that they use.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm excited. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it's one of those ones, like, same thing with, like, Elden Ring, like, not really, like, my type of game, but, like, some games are just too good not to try, and I sort of feel like Baldur's Gate's one of them. Like, Elden Ring, I probably put, like, 20 hours into it. Like, I'm not good at it, but, like, I beat a couple, like, the important bosses, so I was like, I think I got what I wanted out of this, like, that sense of trying to just get better,
Yeah.
because like in shooting games, it's different. Like the way you get better is different than like mastering a certain boss in a game or something like that.
Yeah, I'm excited because that Lies of P game is coming out this week and it's on Game Pass. So I already talked about it on a previous episode about the demo I was playing.
Speaking of this week, maybe I know most of this episode was kind of the same. But maybe we should do a real quick off the clock. What are you excited to do this week between now and the next time we record?
Yeah, I can go first. So, as I was just alluding to, the Lies of P game comes out. It's basically a Souls-like game, which I haven't played any of the Dark Souls games. So this will be my first foray into this genre, and I'm terrified and excited to give it a try, because the demo, I had a lot of fun. It was very challenging, but I'm excited to see how I fare when I have the whole game to get into and see if I can possibly beat it. I hope I can, but it's on Game Pass, so I'm not paying anything for it. So I'm gonna give it a try and see what I think. I'm gonna say one more thing really quick before we move on. I started the One Piece live action Netflix show, and before seeing that, I had never seen a single episode of One Piece, the anime. So I watched the show, and with all the hype around One Piece currently, it's airing, and lots of hype around Gear 5 and whatnot. I figured I'd give it a try, and the show, for an anime adaptation, again, I haven't seen One Piece. The anime, this live-action adaptation seems good. It seems really good. And looking into the reception from people who have seen the anime, they like it too. So much so it's been renewed for season 2 already, which is awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I'm about halfway through the first season, so I'm excited to get back into that and finish that up. All right,
what about you, Chris? What are you excited to do this week?
I think if I get a chance to, I'm going to be excited to try to put a little bit more time into Starfield. It's another one of those games, like I was just saying, where it's getting pretty good praise. I need to at least give it a shot to form my own opinion, and then I can decide to continue or not from there. But I want to get a little bit more playtime on that, and then I don't know, kind of decide what my next game's going to be. We have like about 2 months until COD, so I don't know if I torture myself on COD again, trying to just kind of get back on the sticks, or do I just dive into something like Cyberpunk, which I've been wanting to for the last few years, and I think this is a really good time.
Yeah, I think so too.
So we'll see. But I'm looking forward to trying a new game. I don't know what that will be specifically just yet.
Assassin's Creed, October 5th.
Oh, really? It's that soon? Okay.
Yeah.
What is it, Mirage?
Oh,
Mirage, yeah. Going back to its roots, apparently.
All
Well, then I'll
we'll
probably
see how
get that.
goes.
More linear game. I'm excited. I'm probably going to give it a try. I really like the original 3. So excited to dive back into that universe.
Yeah, and on my end, as we're recording, my sister's birthday is in 4 days, but the boy tested positive for the panini, so I won't be able to see her this week. So happy birthday to the sister. Ryan,
birthday.
you're pressuring me into watching Kelsey. Not that I needed much pressure. That's probably something I'll be doing this week too.
Yes.
Speaking
You
of
must.
2, I did get the invite for CS2. So
Oh, shit.
I've been
Nice.
playing a lot of Counter-Strike 2 lately. The rumor is it'll drop September 23rd. So when you're hearing this, maybe you know that that's true, or Valve has done a Valve and they've pushed it back more. I've also been watching Cowboy Bebop from the beginning, so I'll be doing a lot of that this week as well.
Oh, it's a gem.
And again, as we're recording this Saturday, Horimiya Season 2, Episode 13, final episode of Season 2 airs this Saturday. So I will probably be very sad after I watch that. And if you'd like to reach out for condolences, you can reach us on Instagram at 5 o'clock sweats, X at 5 o'clock sweats. We are on YouTube. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, Overcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Anything else I'm forgetting, boys?
Nope.
Nah. Just excited to dive back into Space and Kelsey? Space.
Space and Kelsey, baby.
Space and Kelsey, baby. Let's do
All
it.
right. Well, as always, stay sweaty.
Stay
Stay sweaty.
Oh, I sound okay, right? None of you guys mentioned how if I sound loud.
Yeah,
or
the
not.
volume sounds good.
Yeah, so far so good.
Yeah. Sweet.
Oof.
Whoa.
Jesus.
My God.
I heard that.
I heard the build up to that.
Jeez. I
It
had
was like
a wind up
bubbling.
there.
Did you have a Wawa pizza last night?
It was like
Holy
Demon
shit.
inside of me trying to get out.
It's the nun. It's the nun.
Jesus.
None your
That'll
business.
call me off guard.
That'll be in the bonus.
Oh, boy. Yeah, you're probably right.